Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukutali.
Well, good evening and welcome to Newsline Zoom. Zoom because of the growing numbers of COVID-19 positive cases. We've taken steps to do our own part to prevent the spread. And this evening, our guest, of course, is through Zoom, is the Member of Parliament from the SJB, Mr. Mujibur Rahuman. Very good evening to you, Mr. Rahman, and welcome to Newsline Zoom.
Very good evening to Faraz. Thank you.
Thank you. And let me start off by asking you, in your view, what is concerning you as an opposition politician, as a citizen of Sri Lanka? What is bothering you the most, or what few items are bothering you the most at the time?
Now the situation, everybody knows now is because of the COVID-19 situation, the country's situation is day by day, it's going to worst. Numbers of deaths are increasing, number of positive patients are increasing. From other side, all these health officials and experts and doctors, they all ask government to go for the lockdown. And from the government side, they are not responding to that one, and they don't want to listen to that one. So at the moment, country's situations and our lives, our life and everybody's life, including your life and or even ordinary people's life, all are under threat because of COVID-19. And from the government side, they are not taking any positive step to prevent the COVID-19.
What would you like the government to do, Mr. Mujibur?
There are experts in the local, doctors, even the professors, even the health experts, and even the international expert like Professor Malik Piris, even all those people, they have several times they have told government to go for the lockdown immediately. Then we can reduce the death rates and positive cases. But we don't see anything, positively happen from the government side. The government is just, they are going ahead, right? They are telling they need the economic growing and other things and all. So they want to do the development work. So from other side, people are under threat and the cost of living is going very high. Right, people are suffering from both sides, one from the COVID-19 and other side from the cost of living.
But Mr. Rahman, if I put it to you and say that the vaccination program is doing all right, and that hundreds of thousands of people every day are being vaccinated, and so perhaps in 6 to 8 weeks' time, we will have a fair amount of our population fully vaccinated with both doses. Don't you think that's good progress?
Yeah, actually, the only thing is now government can talk about the vaccination. That is also everybody knows how far they got delayed to start the vaccination. When as opposition leader, when we were questioning about in the parliament about the vaccination, most of the government ministers, they really not interested about the vaccination. And those times, government went on that pania, they promoting the pania, they asked people to go and drink the pania and all various things. So finally, government has accepted the vaccination. That is the only solution. That is good. We welcome that move. At the moment, they are doing vaccination all right. That is not the issue. But other thing is, even WHO was telling the vaccination is not enough. That is also not only the one the solution. So the main time that we have to do the vaccination and we have to follow the health guidelines. And when we need the lockdown, we have to go for the lockdown. So those kind of things and government has to follow. But now at the moment, government are what you said is correct. They are thinking the only vaccination can the solution. That is okay. But what about the situation now? Every day, day by day, death rates are going up, and positive cases are going up. Now they have reduced the PCR up to 10,000 to 12,000. Earlier they have done 50,000, 40,000 PCR. From that only we found the 2,000, 2,300 positive cases. Now within 10 to 12,000 only government is doing every day. From there we are finding 2,900, 3,000 positive cases. That means already it has gone up really. So I am not thinking only the vaccination is enough, but at the moment the crises are different. So that is the government has to listen to the all these health authorities.
So what you're really saying, Mr. Rahman, is that the government is trying to keep the figures artificially down by reducing the amount of testing that's going on.
Yeah, exactly. What you said is right. Even that, now nearly 1 month, 2 months back, even the president says he got wrong the information and the wrong calculations. The same time now, day before yesterday, one of the government partners, MP, Mr. Honorable Muhammad Musammil, he also said these all calculations and the analysis, everything's altered from the two top army officers and a doctor. So I don't know who are them. So anyway, we also getting from the information from the health side. It's not tallying with the government calculation. So government calculation is, I don't know, because from my side, I'm thinking they are manipulated, they are manipulated the calculation and all. They're trying to get some sort of benefit from that calculation also.
But surely what sort of benefit can they get apart from
I think from their side, they want to show to the people not to panic, everything is under control, we are doing well, those kind of thing I think they are expecting.
And but you alluded to the rising cost of living and so on. But for example, and you said the president wants he has his own vision. Well, part of his own vision, and he told us this in the run-up to the elections and so on, and that he is committed to renewable energy being used in Sri Lanka, especially because we have now we have a foreign currency crisis on our hands. But whilst the president is fully committed to renewable energy, we have a situation.
Even in that the president's Saubhagya Dakma, right? He has included that renewable policy, renewable energy policy. Even when they increased the diesel prices 1 month ago, so that time also president issued a statement. Government is willing to go for the renewable energy, right? So that is from the president's side. He's issuing a statement, all kind of things. But when you go to the CEB, Ceylon Electricity Board, so they like to give for the renewable energy only for the 10 megavots. So I don't know I don't know which investor going to come to the Sri Lanka for the 10 megavots. I don't think any international investors will interested for the like a small amount of that 10 megavots. Will they come for the Sri Lanka to invest for the 10 megavots? I don't think. So from at least I will suggest they have to go for the 100 megavots. Then only they can expecting some international investors to come for the Sri Lanka, even for the local investors. All right. So we can't see CEB and the president's view. They all working under the same direction. The president say one thing, and CEB they were telling one thing, and all these institutions are going on different way. So I can't see anything going on the same direction and same president's view.
Are you suggesting then that the president has, even though he issues these statements, that he is not being backed up by his minister and the officials at the CEB? And in that context, today's change of the Minister of Power. Will that help us?
Yeah, we'll see. Today they have changed several the minister's portfolio, right? They have now named new ministers has come. So we can see within another 1 or 2 weeks time how far president's changes are happening. So we'll wait and see.
And of course, the new Minister of Power is a one-time member of the United National Party. So perhaps you know him well.
Huh?
Who is the new Minister of Power and Energy then?
New Minister of Power.
All right. Okay.
That is Gamini Lokuge.
Yes,
Gamini Lokuge.
Gamini
Yes.
Lokuge has his history in the United National Party.
He one time he was the strong member of the United National Party. So he crossed over in 2007, 6 somewhere, I think somewhere around 2007 or 6. So we'll see how Gamini Lokuge will do the Ministry Power and Energy. Will he also doing to continue the president's vision, or I don't know whether he has his own vision.
Well, you're probably right, and experts will probably agree with you that in the context that at a time when Sri Lanka has very little foreign exchange, it's very challenging times, and where we are unable to get huge amounts of loans, then obviously we will need investors rather than loans. And investors are unlikely to come in just to invest in 10 megawatts of power in different locations. But like you say, if it's 100 megawatts, then you may find some investors taking the risk and making the trip to Sri Lanka. So on that, I suppose we are all agreed. But don't you think that the government is doing everything possible, or what more can they do in terms of our energy security?
Yeah, energy security, I think energy security will be a crisis in the future or near future also, because now the government has a big problem of the foreign reserve, and they have the problem of the dollars. So I think in future the imports of the oil also will going to have a problem. If they reduce the import of the oil, there will be a power cut. Because of, in Sri Lanka, bigger percentage of still we are getting the power from the oil, and there are a lot of generators are working, right? If they, if government having a problem import of oil also because of this foreign reserve and dollar issue, so definitely the people has to face for the power cut also. So that is also, I think, in another problem for the government in near future, and everybody has to face for that issue also. Like what happened to the gas? Now we are everywhere there is a shortage of gas, right? So finally, after 2 weeks, the government has increased the price to the last gas 363. Government has increased that price after people are facing the shortage of gas. People went here and there. They are loafing on the road, right, to find a gas. So finally, government, they have to increase the price. So why government takes such a long time to increase of the price? They should have done earlier now. And even then at least people, they won't be suffer without gas, right? So, so I also can't understand how this government taking decision, how their management and everything, when we see as opposition, is totally utter failure.
You've heard it first, ladies and gentlemen, on Newsline Zoom with Mr. Mujibur Rahuman, who is now suggesting that a impending fuel crisis is very much on the cards if we go the way we are. We'll come back after this short break to discuss with Mr. Mujibur Rahuman the impact of a fuel shortage and therefore a possibility of suffering power cuts in the near future. We'll see you on the other side of this break, where we check on the headlines from this evening's primetime news.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukatali.
And welcome back to Newsline Zoom. This evening we are in conversation with the Member of Parliament from the SJB, Mr. Mujibur Rahuman. Mr. Rahuman has just told us and reminded us that there is a distinct possibility of Sri Lanka facing a power crisis because of an impending issue in terms of raising money for fuel. Foreign exchange is at a premium. Mr. Rahuman, would you say that this is as serious as it appears to be?
Yeah, it is a very serious issue, I think, from my side, because, in Sri Lanka, our most of power we are getting through the hydro plant, through water and the thermal and the diesel, right? Norachole, everybody we know, right? Norachole always seeing, breaking their one side and again repairing, So Norachole is, everybody can't accept, suddenly what will happen to the Norachole. And we always depend on that hydro plant and the diesel. So, the bigger amount of the percentage of our requirements, diesel plant has to work. And all these, what do you call this,
coal power station.
Yeah, coal power station, that is from Norachole.
Yeah.
Right, that's why I told about the Norachole one. We can't depend on the Norachole because, always it is will have a problem in Norachole, right? So mainly we have been depending on our hydro plant and diesel. The wind power also, we have a small percentage of amount only we are getting from the wind power. So when we comes to the diesel, the power plant, so we need the diesel. So we have to import the oil. So at the moment we are facing the foreign exchange prices are there, right? We don't have a much reserve and we don't have a dollar. Because of that only now we have faced the gas crisis also. Actually government say the world market, the gas prices are increasing, but not only that. From other side, we heard what these importers say. Importers say we don't have a dollar to import, right? That is the importers has said, right, from their side. So, but still we are facing a crisis of the dollars. So every import at the moment government has stopped because of the dollar, right? So from the diesel and imports oil, we need dollars and we need foreign reserve. There's a crisis of that at the moment, foreign exchange also. So if some kind of problem, if this is continue like this in near future, definitely after December, there will be a power cut. Because up to December, I think we have enough water to the hydro plant, the power station, so they can work up to December. So, but I don't know after the December what is going to happen. But I can think there will be a crisis in the power cut after December.
Well, it's a very serious matter, of course, Mr. Rahuman, and thank you so much for bringing it to the attention of the public. But talking about the public and talking about the CV-19 pandemic, what really shouldn't the government can only do so much, and the health authorities also can only do so much. But don't you think that the real issue should be that the people of the Republic should be more cognizant of the requirements, and they must maintain their distance, they must wash their hands, they must wear the mask, and they must not make unnecessary gatherings. Surely, gatherings and so on at this moment in time is not required. It's excess to requirements, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. What you said is right. Every citizen has a responsibility. So everybody has to follow the health guidelines, from what they have given us to that all these advices and all, so we have to follow. That is every citizen's responsibility. From not only that, even for the government, but when the health authority says something, so government has to also do that. We can remember in 2020, somewhere around March, health authorities asked government to the lockdown the airports, So that time government didn't want to the lockdown the airport. Even President clearly said he don't want to close the airport. Then he waited till airport closed until the nomination handed over. After March, I think somewhere around 19 or 21st, right? After that only he closed the airport. Then too late. And because before he closed the airport, there were nearly 100 positive cases came into the country, right? So finally what happened? All these intelligence officers, they went behind them and they only caught those fellows. On that time, if the president listened to the health authority, he would have been a different place. Because I am always telling Faraz, this is the country, we have no borders, without borders. We have an ocean around the country. And we have only one entry port, that is International Bandaranaike International Airport. That is the only entry port we have to enter the country. So if we had a plan to cover our entry point, so today we would have in a different place. I am not telling we are in the zero position, right? But we should have faced in a different time, less than this type of situation. That is my argument. Always government didn't listen to the health authorities. Health authorities, they have told government to several times, we know before the first week of April, they told government to go for the lockdown. Government didn't go for the lockdown. They went to lockdown after the April 17th. And even now, at the moment also, all our health authorities and the experts, they are telling to government, go for the lockdown, take these measures, and even government is not listening to them. So no pointing, we are blaming people and ordinary people also. So everybody has the responsibility. The biggest responsibility is having from the government side, because government is the control in the country. They are the decision makers. They got mandate from the people. So they have a responsibility, I think, than everybody.
But Mr. Mujibur, don't you think that the country as a whole could do without these protests? Because these protests, when you have protests all over the country, with people protesting about this, that, and everything else, whilst protesting is part of the everyday life of any democracy, don't you think that inside this pandemic situation, that protests don't really help?
Yeah, what you said is exactly right. Now what health authorities say, they were telling, don't get together and don't get together much people. So that is always health authorities were telling. And what is the government side they must do? Because of this pandemic situation, they must concentrate these type of things, and they also must act what is the health authority says. And they also must, concentrate not to take any kind of bills to the parliament that is in the debate in the society, debate in the country. So government, what is the government is doing? There are pandemic situation. They don't bother of the situation. They are doing their political work. They are bringing Kotalawala Act. They have brought that Port City bill, and all these kind of things, right? During the pandemic situation, when they try to bring to the parliament and they try to pass the bill, then automatically people will come to the street. So we can't prevent that one, because everybody was telling, don't bring any political agendas during the pandemic situation. But government don't want to listen to that thing. That is the issue. That's why I'm telling, because government has a biggest responsibility than other people and other trade unions, than other organizations. So government must act as a responsibility government. Then people will obey. If the government doesn't act as a responsibility government, how can they expect people to obey?
Are you saying that the biggest difficulty that this government is facing is its inability to listen to what the people are saying?
Yeah, exactly. Not only people, even the experts, even the health authorities, even the doctors, So they don't listen to anybody. We can't see even the President Task Force is there. So I don't think President Task Force, they are listening to the health authorities. One thing you can see, from July 30th, the President Secretary P.B. Jayasundara, he has issued a letter to abolish all the circulars, and he asked all the government servants to come to the work, right? And same day, the President Task Force, and they were telling people to stay at home, don't go out, only for the necessary work you go out. So don't keep your weddings and other things and all, because now the COVID-19 are increasing, even Delta is increasing. So they were telling all kind of story. From other hand, the President Secretary, P.B. Jayasundara, he issued a letter to come to the everybody to come to work, right? So how these two are going on is a parallel line? No, these two are going on a different way. So I don't know why P.B. Jayasundara, the President Secretary, is not listening to the President Task Force. So that's why I'm telling from the beginning, the government, all these institutions, authorities, and the secretary, all they are going on different agenda. So how can we are going to face for these kind of pandemic situation?
Well, it's very worrying, obviously, and our listeners, the Republic, will be equally worried. But Mr. Mujibur Rahman, how much of this are you talking as an opposition member, and how much of what you're saying are you saying as a citizen of Sri Lanka?
Yeah. Sorry, I can't hear you, Faraz.
When you talk about all these problems, how much of these problems are you talking about because you are in the opposition, and how much of it are you talking about from a viewpoint as a Sri Lankan citizen, not about politics?
Yeah, as a citizen of Sri Lanka, one citizen of our country, so I also have a certain responsibilities, right? Not because of the politics, and I am also requesting from the people. So take your own safeguard your family members and all, because now at the moment government has going on a different direction. So everybody has to think about their own security. So at the moment, we have to concentrate about our own security. Otherwise, everybody will. The situation is day by day getting worse. So everybody has to face the situation. So I'm also requesting from the people. So obey the health guideline and think about your own security and on your family members' security. And, be safe.
Well, Mr. Mujibur Rahman, thank you very much for being on Newsline Zoom. So this evening we leave you ahead of the primetime news on News First with these take-homes as told to us by Mr. Mujibur Rahman from the SJB. A fuel crisis is on the way. Power cuts may very well happen. That's the take-home message from Mr. Mujibur Rahman on Newsline Zoom. Thank you very much. Take care. Have a great evening. And of course, as always, God bless you.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.